Hi everybody, and welcome to my latest video where I will share my experience with you of selling, nearly said buying, of selling my Nissan LEAF, my electric car. This is the first time that I've been through the whole private car selling process, so it's been quite interesting. So what did I do first? Okay, I made the decision to sell it. I'll be buying a new car, which is the Kia e-Niro, but I'll save talking about that for another video maybe. So first thing that I did was I got it cleaned. I got it cleaned inside and out. My 6-year-old daughter is really handy with the Hoover, actually normally cleaning the inside of the car, but for the purposes of selling it and advertising it online, I really wanted it to be extra clean, extra sparkly to attract potential buyers. So that's what we did. Took a bit longer than expected actually, so if you do have young children with you and you're going to have your car cleaned and valeted, then it might be a good idea to take some form of entertainment to keep them occupied whilst you're waiting. So that was the first thing. So getting it cleaned, fantastic. Next stage was to take photos. I did a little bit of research, so I looked on the EcoCars website to see what positions the photos had been taken of those cars that were on that site for sale, also on the likes of Auto Trader. I actually spoke to Jonathan Porterfield at EcoCars, so thanks as ever for your help, Jonathan. And he advised that one thing that potential buyers really like to see is obviously range, how many miles you've done and on the dash, and also the state of battery health. So I made sure to take a photo that captured both of those. So how many miles the car has done and the state of battery health. And then it came to, so I've got a really nice set of photos. Where shall I advertise my Nissan LEAF? The obvious choice was EcoCars. And then I also decided to put it on Auto Trader. Clearly, before advertising the car, I needed to decide what price I wanted to sell it at. I had a figure in mind because I need to put a deposit down on the new car, so I knew really what I needed to achieve. So when I first advertised it on EcoCars and on Eco Trader, I put it on at 10.5k, which when you look at Parkers and Auto Trader and other sort of websites that you can go on to check second-hand values, it seemed okay, seemed quite reasonable, maybe a little bit on the high side. And this is one of the big lessons that I learned actually, is that when you're selling a car privately, it's very different to selling as a trader. Because as a trader you can offer finance and so on, so it's perhaps a little easier for a prospective buyer to take the plunge, whereas selling privately, then the prospective buyer has to come up with that inevitably a significant amount of money. Okay, so I didn't get much interest the first week, so I was a little bit worried, because fortunately the lead time on the e-Niro was really short actually, so I knew that I would probably be able to take ownership of the new car sort of mid-September, so I needed to shift the Nissan LEAF pretty quick. So I quite quickly brought the price down to 9,850. And I did get a little bit of interest there, and this is another valuable lesson learned. I arranged or agreed for somebody to come and view the car, spent Sunday afternoon waiting in for them, and you guessed it, of course they didn't show up, but such is life. I also had a couple of phone calls from people who lived seemingly hundreds of miles away and who were quite keen to kind of buy it without seeing it, so that felt a little bit how can I say it, not dodgy, but not so sure about that. I would rather, my preference would be to actually meet the prospective buyers and to understand that actually they're serious about it, and they're going to come good on the funds. So a few more days went by and I brought the price down again to £9,500, and I thought, okay, so it's going to sell now. Everybody was telling me, Jill, you won't have any problem selling this car. It's a great car and it is in great shape. However, I was getting a little bit nervous. Luckily, a lovely couple who were relatively local to me came to view it one weekend, and first time electric car drivers potentially, and that all came good ultimately. So they're the people that are buying the car, which is really, really great news. One of the things I had been unsure of, again because I've never done this before, is when it comes to a test drive, do I go with them? Do I keep their car keys so they can't or you know, wouldn't be minded to drive off in my car, things like that. But what I found was actually, and having spoken to a family member, always go with them. So that's exactly what I did. We went for a relatively short test drive, really. I drove sort of out, we parked up, and they drove back, which I think was probably a good approach, given that they'd never actually driven an electric car before. So it gave them the opportunity for me to explain how, even just how to turn it on. You know, you just don't know when you've never driven an electric car before. You know, and sort of essentially how to drive it. So that worked out really well. They really, really loved it. We negotiated on price. I came down a little bit more, but I was never going to be greedy about it. I just knew the figure that I needed to achieve to fund my my new car purchase, and that's what I got. So I'm really, really pleased with how it all turned out. It felt like it took a long time to sell, but actually it was 2 weeks, which I think is pretty good. And the end of the story for this video is that I'm sitting in the Nissan LEAF now. It's our last day with it tomorrow. It gets picked up, gets sold tomorrow, picked up tomorrow evening, and my Kia e-Niro arrives on Friday. So we're all extremely excited about that, but we will be sad to see the Nissan LEAF go. My daughter has called it Lexi Electric, so we'll be sad to see Lexi go, but we're on to a new chapter in our electric car journey. Okay, so thanks so much for listening to me, and please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will speak to you very soon. Okay, take care. Bye bye.